Yeah.
Hey,
how's it going?
sorry about that. We were having a little trouble with the phones there.
Yeah, service.
uh, so yeah, I was just kind of introducing you and that moment you had in the game against Eastern. Tell us a little bit about your career. I know you and I spoke earlier this week. And first of all, are you famous now that you've been featured in Glory Days magazine?
Yeah. We were doing grad practice, and people were just coming over with the papers saying, "Look at you."
Oh, that's awesome. So tell us a little bit about your career. Tell the fans out there. The most interesting thing to me is, why you stuck with it. A lot of kids in your situation might have given up on the sport and kind of just quit the program and done their own thing, but you stuck with it and you got a really cool moment out of it.
Yeah, the most important thing for me was to be able to play softball. Like, I know now I'm devastated that I probably won't play it anymore, and I honestly don't get people that would just give up the sport just because they don't get a varsity letter, because then it doesn't show how much you really care about the sport. And softball has really changed who I am as a person. Like, I've been playing it since I was 4 or 5 years old, and I would have no idea who I am if I didn't play softball. So it was just natural for me to stick through the whole program. I love all the girls there, and it was the best family I could have asked for in high school.
Now, take us back to that game against Eastern Regional. We talked about that with a couple sports reporters after that game. Mark Tribble from the Courier Post, he said it was probably the best game he's ever seen. I have to agree with that. What an amazing game. Went 13 innings. You guys won 7-6, and you scored the tying run in the bottom of the 12th. What a cool moment. Kind of relive that for us a little bit.
Well, it was a real dogfight with Eastern. It seemed like every time they scored a run, our girls answered back with another one, and that was the most amazing part about the Eastern game. And for me to come in as a pinch runner with the international tiebreaker rules, and for my coaches to have so much faith that I would be able to come across the plate and come up big in that situation, it means the world to me.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to petition Coach Dunlap on the air here. Give Paige a varsity letter. She deserves it. What was going through your mind when you scored that run? I mean, I was there at that game, and the fans were just incredible. They were lined up all 4 or 5 deep, all along the outfield. Both lines, they're about 7 or 8 deep. It was, like you said, probably the biggest crowd you've ever seen at a high school softball game. And as you cross the plate, you slide, you knock the ball loose from the catcher. What's going through your mind at that moment when you see your teammates kind of erupt on the bench?
It's hard to describe, honestly. I think about it, and it was like a football game. There were so many fans there, and to see the girls so excited and so emotional, I knew that it was a really special moment, and I just wanted to take that in while it was happening.
What was going through your mind after the game? You guys finally won on that great hit by Ella Glenn and walk-off fashion, bottom of the 13th. I mean, you can't draw it up any better than that.
We were celebrating. We were running all across the field. It was like, come here, just hugs everywhere. We were on the field for probably 30 or 45 minutes after the game, and then the mayor came over and he congratulated us on our season. And then Coach Summit was like, "We're going to get pizza." We were like, "Yo!" And then we went and we got ice cream too. It was unreal.
Wow, it was like a throwback to Little League, right?
Yeah.
It
was quite.
We're talking with Paige Weismann, who was one of the players on the Egg Harbor Township softball team, which went 24-1, advanced to the state championship game. Paige, what was this whole run like? Just to be a part of it must have been awesome. I know you didn't get a lot of playing time, but just to be there on the bench and so many exciting games. I mean, you guys won 2 games with walk-off hits, including the Group 4 semifinals against East Brunswick. What was that experience like for you?
I was just so happy to be there and to get a front row seat to all that. Like, I've watched these girls play since they were in the rec leagues. Like, I've seen them play all kinds of different positions, and then they came up to the varsity softball team at our high school, and they came up and they absolutely killed it. And so I couldn't be more proud of the young ladies that these girls have become, and just how dedicated they all are to the sport. And for them to make a name for EHT softball after all these years, it was the best senior year I could have asked for.
Now, what was this whole season like? I know you guys came in with a lot of high expectations, and you were playing pretty well early on, and all of a sudden it gets to 14-0, 15-0, 16-0. It keeps going and going. What was that like, trying to handle all that pressure, all these girls in this program, and trying to live up to expectations? You knew you guys had a lot of talent, but as you get deeper into the season, you're playing a lot better competition, and once the playoffs start, you're playing the best of the best. So what was that like, just continuing to win, and you got it all the way up to 24 in a row?
There really was no pressure, like, around the clubhouse or anything. Like, every practice, every game, it just kind of went out and did their thing. There really wasn't any pressure at all because the press didn't start covering our girls for a while, so they just kept playing their game, and then the press came along with it, and they stayed relaxed and dancing and singing. So they really didn't feel any pressure at all.
Yeah, I think the moment that sticks out to me about what this team was all about was during that about 30 to 40-minute rain delay against East Brunswick in the Group 4 semis. And you guys almost had like an impromptu party in the dugout. You had the radio going. Emily McNeil was just, I don't know what she had for lunch that day, maybe some sugar packets or something, but she was fired up. How cool was that, during that rain delay? It kind of showed, just how loose this team was and dealing with the pressure and really having a lot of fun out there.
The rain delay was one of the highlights of this season, definitely. They've been, I don't want to say waiting for a rain delay, but we've never had a rain delay for at least as long as I've been in the program. And so they've always been talking about, like, oh, here's what we should do, here's what we should do. And then to finally be able to get that, despite being a state playoff game, they still made all of those dreams come true.
Paige, talk personally a little bit. What did that being included in that playoff run? What did that mean to you? Working so hard for 4 years to be a part of this program, and like you said, it kind of gives an example of kids not to give up on their programs and themselves. What did that mean to you to be a part of all that and to feel like you mattered to this team?
I was so happy to keep playing, because my season would have ended May 20th. That was my last game with JV. And for Coach Dunlap to have brought me up, seeing what I've, brought to the program for the past 4 years, just working hard, just doing what I need to do, being a team player, supporting everybody. I was just happy to continue to be there for all the girls and help them in any way they needed it to keep them going through the playoffs.
What was the girls' reaction to you scoring that run? I mean, they must have been thrilled. They know the hard work you've put in and the kind of waiting your turn to have an opportunity. They must have been thrilled for you.
It was a lot of hugs and tears in just that moment. They were so excited, because the game got to keep going. They were excited that I got to have that moment. And even after the game, girls were coming up to me, just bawling their eyes out, saying, Paige, we wouldn't have this if it wasn't for you. And I was like, I don't know about you guys are like 20-0, but...
What was the reaction of your family? I mean, they must have been so proud of you, and to have that happen and really make your mark in one of the most incredible playoff runs that we've seen in South Jersey in quite a long time.
My mom was the most nervous she's ever been. She was like, Mary, what are you doing with my kid? You're putting my kid out there. She's like, oh my God, my kid's out there.
And what did she say after the game?
She was happy I scored the run.
What are you going to remember most about this playoff run? Obviously, it was one of the best in school history, and you guys put up the best record in school history. Took home that South Jersey championship. What's going to stand out to you, do you think, the most, maybe 10, 20 years from now?
I'll never forget the chemistry of this team. At practices, on the buses going to games, pre-game, the team was just so hype all the time. They were so energetic and so caring for each other. Every time something happened, whether bad or good, everybody picked each other up, and it was all just a big team effort. And I think that's what stands out the most.
Good stuff, Paige. We got to let you go. We're up against the clock, but thanks for taking a few minutes to kind of relive that playoff run, and congratulations on an outstanding career, both athletically and as a student, and good luck in the future.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. That was Paige Weismann, senior from the Egg Harbor Township softball team. Great moment for her scoring that big run during the South Jersey championship game. So we appreciate her taking a few minutes to join us here on the South Jersey Sports Report.